Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna give you an equipment guide for the Fusion Warrior tag. There is so many shops and events around, so it's very confusing to know what to farm and prioritize with limited resources. That's why I make these type of videos so I can give you some pointers on what to get. Furthermore, at the end we will build most meta fusion characters and I will show you the ideal setups you can do for them. And you're gonna have a timestamp in the video bar and description so you can jump at any point where you want at any time. Now let's start with the best valuable gold equipment you should get for Fusion Warriors. As always, we're gonna jump to the equipment metal shop in the permanent tab and you're gonna go to the PvP section, and in here you're gonna find all the PvP equipment for different characters and tags, and Fusion Warrior has so many good ones, so let's look at them and which one you should get. First one is a must farm. It's really good for all the vegitos currently that are meta. So the ultra super vegito, the legend super vegito, if the fusion super vegito get unique equipment or a Zenkai next week, is gonna be a must run on him, this equipment. And also it can be run on the Kefla because she is fusion warrior and the Saiyan that is melee based. So farm this equipment 2 or 3 if you are maining fusion warrior because it's gonna be really good with 30% base strike attack, 15% pure strike attack, and 12% HP. Top tier gold equipment to get. This equipment is also extremely good for the Fusion Super Gogeta or any Fusion Warrior character that will be Fusion Warrior plus movie in the future. However, it's not available at the moment, but it will be added in the next couple of weeks on the equipment medal shop. So please get it when it is, if you do not have it already. If you have it and you didn't reroll it, it's going to be really good on your Super Gogeta, the Fusion one. They are more blast based, but the fusion team is strike based, so this equipment is gonna give you the best of both worlds. The best equipment that is good to run for the ultra Zamasu or the red Zamasu is gonna be this one. It's gonna give you base HP 12%, pure strike attack 12%, HP restore plus ultimate damage and special move. So it's a must run on both character if you want to use them on fusion warriors. And the second best equipment for both the Masu is going to be this, and it's going to give you base strike attack 15%, pure blast attack, and strike attack 10%, some HP and some HP restore, but you're going to skip on the ultimate damage and special move. I prefer the Rose one, but if you do not care about special move and ultimate damage, this could be better in general. However, I think it's more optional. It's up to you. If you want to farm both, go for it, but I would focus the Rose one if you want to run Zamasu in your team. At the end of the video, we're gonna build both zamasu and we can decide when we get to that. This one is really good for the LL Gotenks. It's gonna give him a lot of base blast attack, HP, and double pure defenses. It can be decent on the Zenkai Gotenks, but it's more blast heavy. However, you're gonna get some strike and some pure defenses, so it can be useful on him. It just depends. If you do not have a lot of option on your Gotenks, you can use it. Overall, it's gonna give you base HP 10%, base blast attack 22%, base strike attack 12%, and double pure defense, which is pretty decent overall. I would farm at least one and keep it in your inventory. Talking about the LL Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, this is his best equipment in terms of gold. So if you want to run him, you must have this equipment on him. But he's not the most meta character. However, he's S tier this season, so if you want to try him, you can run this equipment on him. The unique Majin saga equipment, and you already have 2 out of the 3, and it's super easy to get both. This is for LL Kefla only. She's the only Fusion Warrior character from Unirep. It's not the most optimal equipment. It's not even the best equipment to get for Kefla, but if you do not want to waste a lot of resources on that character, you don't want to awaken equipment, you can get this very quickly from the equipment medal shop and use it on her. It's gonna give you 15% special move, 10% HP, 15% HP restore, and double pure offense. Just a reminder, she has better equipment, but this is a nice stopgap if you don't want to waste the resources. Final 2 equipment I'm gonna talk about are equipment that are really good but not useful at all at the moment because there isn't any characters that can wear them. The first one is going to be this one. It's meant for the fusion Gogeta blue, and it's going to give him a lot of strike attack, special move, and HP. It's a must run on that character, but he's not useful at the moment. So if you get a Zenkai or an Awaken in the future, or a Zenkai or a unique equipment, sorry, in the future, this could be a good equipment to use on that character, and I would farm it only when we get to that moment. Similar stuff here. This equipment is really good on the Ultra Gogeta 4, however the character is not meta, so you can farm this equipment when he gets an Ultra Plat and you want to use Ultra Gogeta 4. At the moment it's not necessary. Let's finish up the gold section by looking up the new PvP equipment, which is this PvP shop, and it's gonna be a really decent defensive equipment for Fusion Warrior Majin Buu Saga character, so your Vegitos and the Zenkai Gotenks. However, the only character that could use it really is gonna be the Ultra Super Vegito that you want to build defensively, or the Legend Vegito in couple of months when he's really fall off defensively. You can use this as your third equipment, but at the moment you probably want to build him offensively. Regardless, I would farm at least one, because what's going to happen is this equipment will not return for a couple of months on the permanent shop, so just have one as an option in case you need it in the future. You do not need to reroll it at the moment. Get a good slot and keep it in your inventory. Now let's look out for the equipment collection event and what equipment you can get for the tag. Now for the LLs, you don't have too many that are useful. The only useful one at the moment is the Fusion Zamasu if you want to run him. And this equipment is really strong on the Zamasu, but the character is not as good as when he got his equipment a couple of months ago. So you're gonna run it only if your character is a little bit higher star. Regardless, if you want to run him, you need a high damage guard and HP on the first slot. Anything above 88% damage guard if possible. Anything above 19% HP. And second slot you need as high as possible for damage inflicted. Third slot need to be red, of course, because the green and yellow are pretty useless, so reroll it until you get a third slot. If you do not have a third slot, the equipment is pretty useless without the ability. Other LLs with the unique equipment is the Super Vegito, the old one, but the equipment is really bad. You have the Vegito Blue. Again, the equipment is really bad, but if you want it, get anything above 14.5% HP first slot, high damage inflicted second slot, and third slot need to be red like the Zamasu. For the purple SV, he doesn't have a red third slot like the others. Where is purple SV? I don't see him here. The equipment is in the equipment metal shop. I searched for it for 5 minutes, but this equipment is not good at all, and SV is not good. Unless he gets a second unique equipment, you can farm this for him, and you get it from the equipment metal shop, not the energy event. This one you need just as high as you can in terms of your rolls, and there isn't a third predetermined slot. It's just a normal reroll. Last Fusion Warrior character with the unique equipment is like Red Zamasu, and this one has a third red slot, so you need it red and not green or yellow, and you have only 3 options. The first slot it doesn't have HP, so anything decent will do, anything C, even a yellow slot, and the second slot need a high HP. However, the character is not good, so it's probably not worth farming. Same here, it's not worth farming. The Zenkai is not that great, and you need a third red slot for the equipment to be useful. High HP on your first slot. Now let's look out the best tag specific equipment you can get. The first one is going to be Future Purple, and this equipment is great for your Ultra Merge Zamasu. So if you want to run the Ultra Merge Zamasu, this is a must for him, because it's going to give him 10% HP, lot of special move and ultimate damage, and 36% base strike attack. Plus you can farm it with energy, so it's not as resource dependent like Coop. The most relevant tag unique equipment for Fusion Warrior right now is probably the Majin Buu Saga second equipment, and this one is maybe the best equipment we can get for a generic tag and episode, and it's gonna give it 30% base defenses to both stat, 25% base strike attack and blast attack, and 15% HP. It's really good, must run on any Majin Buu Saga character Fusion Warrior you have. So your Fusion Super Vegito, if he gets a unique equipment, Ultra Super Vegito, the new Legend Super Vegito, the Zenkai Gotenks, they all need it. So it depends on how many you're gonna run, but I would farm 2 or 3 because it's a really good equipment. It's gonna be useful anytime a new Majin Buu Saga character release. So I would advise you to get it, and it's gonna be imported on your Vegitos and Zenkai Gotenks. For the two Zamasus, if you want something defensive and you do not have a lot of co-op resources, this is going to be your best bet because it's going to give you HP restore, plus double base defenses. You're going to run it only on your LL or Ultra Mage Zamasu. It's not the most optimal because co-op has a better equipment. However, it's co-op, so a lot of resources are needed. And this is the next best available. For all defense, Zamasu as your third option equipment depend on if you are running zamasu or not. You can watch the character build at the end for the zamasus and determine if you need it or not, and if you need to invest your energy on it. The best base equipment for Fusion Super Gogeta is this one, but Fusion Super Gogeta has better equipment overall. I would run this one only if you do not have co-op medals and you don't have one of the co-op equipment. Other than that, I wouldn't really get it. For the Gotenks, the red one, is gonna have this Fusion Warrior red equipment, which is gonna be pretty decent on him because it's gonna give him HP, ultimate damage, base strike attack, and double defense. Now, the ultimate damage is not going to be useful, sorry about that, because he doesn't have one, but all the other stats are going to be pretty good. It also can be used on the red Merge Zamasu. It's the best base equipment he owns, so if you want to give him something that get base strike attack, some HP and ultimate damage, you can go with this. You can also use an Awaken that gives him base, but it doesn't have any ultimate damage. It's going to depend on what you want to run. The other gold equipment, or sorry, unique equipment your Gotenks can run is gonna be the hybrid one that we got a couple of weeks ago from the Legends Fest Part 2. And it's gonna be this one. Now this equipment compared to the Fusion Warrior Red, it doesn't have HP, but you're gonna get more special move, more defenses, and a little bit less base strike attack, or actually, yeah, the same base strike attack. So this one has special move, the other one has HP, so it depends on what you want. If you want a base equipment that gives you a lot of special move and base strike attack, you go with this one. If you want an equipment that gives you HP and a lot of base strike attack, you're gonna go with the Fusion Warrior red equipment, which is gonna be around here, and it's gonna be this one. Last equipment is for LL Kefla. It's the unique equipment for Unirep Saiyans. It's a very good defensive equipment with double defenses, 35% and 12% HP. So if you want something very defensive, this is great for her. And you also have an Awaken equipment that will give you pure defense for Kefla. So both could pair together greatly, and I would advise you to get this equipment if you want a little bit of extra tankiness for your LL Kefla. Fusion Warriors has some interesting co-op equipment. Some are must use, some are optional. So let's look at the different ones. Let's look at the current co-op equipment, and it's a pretty decent one in terms of stat, but I wouldn't really advise you to use any co-op medal on it because the characters that can use it have better alternatives. Now, if you can farm it naturally with the current co-op and drop a good first slot, yeah, you can use it, but otherwise it's not really worth investing your medals. First of all, you're gonna have the Vegitos that can use it from the Majin Buu saga, and them characters have multiple equipment that are better. They have the unique equipment from the Majin Buu saga, of course, so you're gonna run that on them. You're gonna have the gold Fusion Warrior Saiyan equipment that is gonna give you 30% base strike attack, 15% pure strike attack, which is much higher in terms of strike, and it's gonna give you 10% HP, which I prefer to special move and ultimate damage. And you're also gonna have the Awaken Vegito equipment that is gonna give you a lot of stats. I'm gonna talk about it later, but overall it's still gonna give you special move, ultimate damage. It's gonna give you HP, which this one doesn't, and it's gonna give you 30% base strike attack, which is a little bit less than this, but overall the stat spread plus HP is more suited toward Vegito. If you do not want to run it, you still have the Majin saga Awaken that is gonna give you special move and ultimate damage. It's gonna give you 22% base strike attack compared to 12%, and it's gonna give you pure offense 10%, which is a little bit less than 12, but 2% less is not as good at getting 10% more base strike attack. Overall, this equipment is not going to be that useful on your Vegetos, and you are not going to run it. Now for Gotenks, there is a situation you can run it, but it's not that optimal, to be honest. You're going to have the unique equipment from Majin saga, the Awaken Majin saga equipment that is better. Now the third equipment, you probably need some HP or something that will give you pure offense plus HP, and this one doesn't offer you that. You can run it as your third equipment for more pure offenses, but you have other options. It just depends, but I wouldn't advise you using Coop on it. You can farm it naturally if you want it for the Zenkai Gotenks. We're gonna talk more about Gotenks and how to build them later on in the video. You have timestamp if you want to jump to that. This co-op equipment is also pretty good, very defensive one with 20% pure blast defense, 32% base strike defense, HP and HP restore. Very good equipment on your Vegetos if you want defensive Vegetos. However, only the Ultra is gonna go defensive at the current moment, so it's probably the one that's gonna use it. But if you do not have a lot of co-op resources, you can just go with the current gold PvP equipment and it's gonna do similar stuff. It's gonna be a little bit less good because it's not gonna give you strike defense, just some base strike defense and no HP restore. However, you're gonna have a higher HP. I believe it doesn't give you HP restore, I cannot remember. But yeah, it doesn't give you any base strike defense, it's gonna give you base plus defense, but higher HP. It's up to you. I wouldn't waste resources on it if you want something defensive. Go with the gold PvP equipment. If you already have it in your inventory, you can reroll it and it's gonna be great on your Ultra Super Vegito. This is possibly the must farm equipment for the Fusion Super Gogeta from Legends Fest. If you want to run that character on Fusion Warrior, you must get this equipment. And this equipment, if you have Super Gogeta in your team, you can put it on any Fusion Warrior character you want, and they will benefit from it. It's a really good one with 10% HP, double pure offense, double base defenses. I would farm 2 if you already have Super Gogeta in your team. If you do not have Super Gogeta at all or don't want to use them, I wouldn't farm it at all because you cannot proc the condition. Regardless, it's one of the best co-op equipment available. This equipment is meant for the Gotenks, for the LL Super Saiyan 3 and the Zenkai. For the LL, it's a must run, so if you want to run the LL, you probably farm it. For the Zenkai, it just depends, to be honest. I wouldn't say it's a must, but it could be useful because on Fusion Warriors, the Gotenks doesn't have that many equipment and options, and this one is still gonna give him HP, pure strike attack, base strike defense. The base and pure blast attack is not the worst on him. His blast attack is not that bad. However, it's not gonna be that great either. And if you want something that gives you HP, you don't want to run the current PvP equipment, you can go with this. Otherwise, you can skip it because it posts co-op medals. This one is an amazing defensive equipment for your Ultra and LL Zamasus, but you need to run them together to proc the conditions. So if you are running both together, this will be great for both and you can farm 2. I would say only farm 1 because only the Zamasu will use it really. The red one has only 2 slots available with his unique, so you probably won't run this one and you don't want him that defensive. But the Ultra, I would definitely run it on him. However, you need another Zamasu in your team or another future character and another powerful opponent to proc the condition. If you cannot proc it, do not farm it. If you can proc the condition and you want it on your Ultra Zamasu, I would advise you to farm it for more defenses. Last one is this. I wouldn't really advise you to farm it. If you have it, great, but wasting resources on this type of equipment is not that great anymore because it's pretty limited. Even though it gives you double pure offense, doesn't give you any HP, doesn't give you any special move or ultimate damage. If the pure offense was like 15, 16, 17% maybe, but only 12%, you just run a base equipment that gives you 35% or so, and you're gonna be better than this, and it doesn't need that many resources. We move on to the interesting awakening equipment for your Fusion Warrior team. Of course, you're gonna find the resources for the awakening or the memories on the USTR shop. We start with the best Awaken equipment for Vegetos, and it's gonna be this one. Earlier, I was talking about the new Coop equipment, and I said it's not that relevant on the new Vegetos or any Vegetos because you have the Majin saga unique equipment that you must run, the gold equipment that gives you way more offense than the Coop, and a third Awaken, which is going to be this one, and I think it's better. Now, it's going to give you 30%, 35% base strike attack, which is huge, 10% HP, which the Coop doesn't offer. It's going to also give you special move and ultimate damage, which is the same as the Coop one. The only difference is maybe you're gonna output more strike attack with the other equipment, but you're gonna be less tanky because of the HP. Now, I would really advise you to farm this for your Legend Vegito, your Ultra Vegito if you want to run him, and if using Super Vegito got unique equipment, maybe this one can be useful on him. But it just depends because you're gonna have only 2 slots available. One of them is gonna be for the Majin Saga. The third one, you probably want some pure offense, so this could be discarded and you can go with the gold PvP equipment instead. So I would farm it only for the Legend Vegito and the Ultra Vegito if you want to run him. So at least 2 is gonna be really good for you. This is possibly the best Awaken equipment for the Gotenks. It's quite similar to the current Coop equipment. For me, I'm gonna run either this one or the Coop equipment, and in terms of stat, this one is gonna be better for your Gotenks. It's gonna give you 22% base strike attack and 10% to pure offenses. Now the other one is gonna give you 12% base strike attack and 12% pure strike attack. So you're gonna lose 2% pure strike attack on this equipment compared to the Coop, but you're gonna gain 10% base strike attack. So the 10% base strike attack is much better than the 2% gain from the Coop one. So this one is gonna output way more damage for your Gotenks than the Coop. And also you're gonna get 12% special move and 12% ultimate damage compared to 10% from the Coop, which is okay, but this one is better overall. You can also run both together if you want. If you want full offense Gotenks on Fusion Warrior, it's an option, but I would run only one of them, and I prefer the Awaken. Plus the Awaken require less resources overall. Now, the last slot condition require a Majin Saga character in your team is quite the same as the Coop that require a Potara, so you need Vegito in your team to have the benefit of the pure offenses. Other than that, the Vegetos can use this equipment, but I wouldn't use it on them because they have so many other equipment that you can use that are better overall. The best Awaken for the LL Fusing Super Gogeta is gonna be this one. He is more of a blast based character, but there isn't too many blast equipment for Fusion Warrior, and if you want to run him on a pure Fusion Warrior team, you're gonna need this equipment that is gonna give him 15% base blast attack and 15% pure blast attack plus double base defense. Pretty simple. He's gonna output a lot of damage and give you some base defenses, so farm at least one if you want to run Fusing Super Gogeta on Fusion Warriors. This is a great Awaken equipment for the Kefla. Earlier we showed you the unique equipment for Universe Rep plus Saiyans that gives you 35% to base defenses and 12% HP, and I told you it will pair greatly with an Awaken equipment, and it's going to be this one because this one is going to give you base offenses, some HP, and some pure defenses that will be really good with the base defenses from the other equipment. And Kefla is not really defensively reliable currently, so defense are going to be pretty good on her. So if you want to run Kefla, I would say this equipment is probably her best Awaken, and I would farm at least one if possible. One more equipment that is interesting for Kefla, it's not a must farm or a must get, but if you want some base strike attack and HP at the same time, this is what you can get. An equipment that will give you a 30% base strike attack while giving you 10% HP. Of course, roll the HP slot on the last one. I'm not gonna use it on Kefla if I was going to use Kefla, but if you want a little bit more offense and HP, go for it. Very quickly, you have the weapon wielder future equipment that you can use on your zamasu. Now, it's not the most optimal ever, but if you want a reliable base strike attack equipment that gives you HP and special move plus HP restore, this is a good one. It's a stopgap, and it's a really good equipment to farm overall because you can use it in so many tags and characters. So I would advise you to get at least one if possible, even two, and roll a strike attack if you want to use it on either Zamasu. The last equipment I want to talk about is going to be this one. It's for characters that are fusion and sagas from the movies. However, it's strike heavy equipment, and there isn't anyone that is relevant and strike based for fusion movies. The fusion Super Gogeta is more of a blast based character. The Gotenks for Part 1 Legends Fest is not that great and probably use the Zenkai instead, so you're not gonna use this equipment on him. However, in the future, if we get the Fusion Gogeta Blue Zenkai or unique equipment, if we get a new Gogeta Blue that is melee based, this could be really good on him because it's gonna give you a 30% base strike attack, 10% HP and double base defenses, which is a really good spread of stats. If you have extra resources lying around, you can farm it and keep it for later. If not, do not worry about it. When we get a new Gogeta, maybe you can get it at that moment. Let's start building some characters, and we're going to go with the new purple legend Vegito. I do not have him, so I'm gonna use the old LL. It's gonna be the same tags, they are both melee type and they are both purple. So just imagine it's the new purple Vegito. For the first equipment, it's pretty obvious. Since he is a Majin Buu Saga character, you're gonna use this on him. This is very strong. A mini Zenkai buff plus 15% HP, so it's a must use on your Vegito. Next is gonna be his Awaken. Similar stuff. This equipment is extremely strong and it's gonna give you 35% base strike attack, special move, ultimate damage, and base HP. It's specific for Vegito character, so he's the only one that can use him. Gogetas and other Fusion Warrior character cannot, which is a bummer, but this is really good and I would advise you to use it. And the third equipment is gonna be the gold equipment from the old PvP season that we got for a Fusion Super Vegito. And this one is gonna give him 15% HP, 15% pure strike attack, sorry, 30% base strike attack, and 12% HP. Just making a post-edit cut. For your Vegetos, you have this equipment that is the current Coop. Some people might want to use it, but I don't think it's that optimal. If you have it farmed naturally, you can use it on him. However, you're gonna lose HP that you can get from the gold equipment and the Awaken Vegito equipment, so I think it's better. And the gold equipment is gonna give you more offenses. The Vegito equipment is gonna give you more in terms of defense with the HP, so it's not that great. And if you want something that gives you more offense and special move and ultimate damage, I would prefer to farm the Majin Buu Saga equipment if you have another Majin Buu Saga character in your team, which is the Awaken with the Super Saiyan 3 Goku on it. I'm gonna put it on the left hand side so you can see it. And overall, it's gonna be a better stat spread than the co-op equipment. I would use the co-op equipment only if you do not have a lot of choices, if you already have it a C slot naturally, and if you do not have a Majin Buu Saga character and you cannot use the Awaken. Now let's get back to the video. This is my ideal Super Vegito setup. Now if you want a little bit more defenses, you can remove either equipment. I would advise you to remove probably the Awaken because you're gonna get some pure from the base, from the gold equipment. So if you want some defense, you can remove it and you can use either the current PvP equipment that will give you extra pure blast defense, or you can use this co-op equipment that we got last year during the summer, which is really good too. But at the current moment, he's a really strong offensively and I would advise you to go full offense. For the Fusion Super Vegito, it's gonna be similar stuff, but one equipment might be locked if they get a unique equipment next week. So if they get a unique equipment, you're gonna feel this. And the second equipment is gonna be the Majin Buu Saga one. After that, if your Super Vegito is Fusion Super Vegito is above 9 star or so, you probably have to go with the gold equipment here to give him some pure blast attack. If he is below 8 star or below 9 star, you might want to go with the Awaken Vegito equipment. But even if he's below 8 or 9 star, I would say with these unique equipment, if he gets one, It's gonna give him a lot of base, so gold equipment might be better per default. But that's all for this Fusion Super Vegito, same stuff as the other one. However, he might have one of his equipment slot locked by a unique if he gets a unique. If he doesn't get a unique and he gets a Zenkai next week, you can just use the Awaken and go with the same stuff for the purple Legends Vegito. For the Ultra one, same stuff, but the Ultra you want to build him more defensively. So we're gonna get his Ultra Plat. This is a must run. The Majin Buu Saga equipment. And last one, you might want to give him some defense. So you could go with the gold equipment from this season that give him pure blast defense, or you can go with this equipment that we got from the old Coop this summer that gives you pure blast defense the same. Plus, you're gonna get some strike defense that you do not get on the gold equipment. It's an upgrade overall, but it's not that much to invest gold medal on. You can just go with the gold equipment. If you want some damage, which I wouldn't use in this Vegito, I would go with the gold PvP equipment because he gets so much base here and he gets more base from the Majin Buu Saga equipment. I would go with the gold equipment. If you do not have the gold equipment, you can always go with the Awaken, but it's the least useful one, I would say. Now, let's move on to the Fusion Super Gogeta. I do not have him again, so I'm gonna use this one as a placeholder. He's also a range type movie Super Gogeta character, so it's gonna be a similar equipment overall. For him, the gold equipment that you should use is this one. Now, it's not available. It was available during his PvP season, but it should be added in the shop like really soon in the next couple of weeks, the equipment medal shop. So when you can get it, I would advise you to get it. Second is gonna be this Coop equipment. It's probably a must use on him. It's gonna give him pure strike attack, double base defense, pure blast attack, and HP, which is really good. He's more of a range type character, but you are using him on a melee team, which is Fusion Warrior. So the pure strike attack could be a good thing on him, and of course the pure blast is a must. And this one is also gonna give him double pure offense plus HP and double base offense. The final equipment I would advise you to go is the Awaken here. It's gonna give him a lot of pure blast attack, up to 15%, and it's gonna give him some base blast attack and double base defenses, which is really good. If you do not have this equipment and you don't have resources to farm it, you can always go with this base equipment that you can get in the equipment collection event. It's not the best ever, but roll a blast roll, and it's gonna give you a lot of base blast attack and double base defenses. It's quite similar to this one. However, this one is gonna give you way more offense, and this one is gonna give you a little bit more defenses. Same stuff. If you are missing one of the equipment, you can go with it, and you should be fine. Now, this Super Gogeta Fusion one has more movie base equipment because movie team has a blast based variant. On Fusion Warrior is more melee type, but you can go with what I showed you and you should be fine. Now let's move on to this Gotenks. I think this Zenkai Gotenks is much better than the Legends first one, so if you are running one of them, you should run this one. And he has some decent equipment you can use. The first equipment is quite obvious. It's going to be the Majin Buu Saga one, and it's must run on your Majin Buu Saga character. The second one is probably going to be offense. I really like the equipment from the Awakening, and this one is going to give you 10% to pure offenses and 22% to base strike attack plus the ultimate damage and special move. Now you also can run the current PvP, current co-op equipment that is going to give you 12% to base strike attack, so you're going to lose 10% base strike attack and 12% to pure strike attack. Plus you're going to get 10% to special move and ultimate damage, which is 2% less. Now, I think the Majin Buu Saga equipment is better than it because you're gonna get more of the special move and ultimate damage. You're also gonna get more strike attack by 10%. However, you're gonna get less pure strike attack by 2%. But I think 10% base strike attack is more important than 2% pure strike attack. That's why I would lean toward the Awaken for Majin Buu Saga. However, you can run both if you want a full offense Gotenks. and you do not have any other options. What are the other options? I would say is this uh, unique equipment. If you have Super Gogeta, it's gonna give you 12% pure strike attack, some HP, and the HP is better than the special move and ultimate damage here. You can also run the Coop equipment here. Now this equipment is gonna output way less damage, but you're gonna get some defense abilities with the HP and base strike defense, and that's what I would do if you want to go full offense. If you do not have any co-op medals and you want some base offenses, you can go with the hybrid equipment that gives you base strike attack, which is 30%, and you're gonna get also some special move, which is 15%. However, you're gonna lose HP. If you still want to maintain some HP and you want something that gives you base, you can go with the Fusion Warrior or the Fusion Warrior Red, yeah. And this one is gonna give you HP, base track attack 30%, which is the same, however less base defenses, and you lose special move. You get ultimate damage instead, but ultimate damage is useless on your Gotenks, so it depends on what you want to do. If you want defenses, you can go with the current PvP equipment, I believe. It's gonna give you a lot of pure defense, some HP and HP restore. You can also go with this Gotenks equipment. This one is gonna give you pure defenses and still a little bit of base track attack, which is okay on your Gotenks, and a lot of base blast attack. Now the base blast attack is not that great. However, the blast attack from this Gotenks is not that low in terms of stats. He's a transforming unit, so he's still gonna output some okay base blast attack. And that's all for the Gotenks, I believe. That's what I would use in terms of equipment. Now let's move on to the Kefla. She is not the most meta character at the moment, but if you have her high star and you just want to test her, I will show you what you can use in terms of equipment on Fusion Warrior. First of all, she is a Saiyan character, so she can use this, and she is more melee based, so this one is going to be really good on your Kefla with 30% base strike attack and 15% pure strike attack and 12% HP, so she will ditch a lot of damage with that equipment. Second is her Awaken equipment. This equipment is more defensive, is gonna give you some pure defenses. However, you're still gonna get some good base strike attack and 12% HP, which is pretty decent. Then again, if you want a little bit more defense, because she's not tanky at all, you can go with this unique equipment for Saiyan Unirep. It's gonna give you a lot of base defense and 12% HP. This is the ideal setup for me in the current meta for Kefla, because what you're gonna have is a lot of defense with a lot of base here and some pure here. You're gonna have some pure base strike attack here, which is 23% for the strike, and you're gonna give it a lot of base strike attack again with 30% for base strike and some pure strike attack. Plus, you're gonna get HP from each equipment, so she's gonna take decently well, let's say, with this equipment. Now, if you want a little bit more offense, what I would advise is go with this one and get the strike variant, not the blast variant. Here I have blast, but get the strike one. You still get some HP and 30% base strike attack, which is nice. In terms of pure strike attack, you don't have too many. I would go with just this one and you should be fine. If you want a little bit more pure defenses, you can get this one instead of the Saiyan Unirep, and this one is gonna give you 20% pure blast defense, but only 32% base track defense. Oh, not only, that's a lot. And what's gonna happen is you're gonna tank much better than this equipment, but you're gonna get or you're gonna need a lot of more resources compared to this one that you just farm with energy. So it's up to you. If you want more defenses, you can go with this one. If you do not have a lot of resources, just go with this and you should be fine. Now let's move on to the Zamasus. Both characters are Fusion Warrior, but both of them do not have the Fusion Warrior Z ability, so it's an issue. What you can do is either use both together and later slot a Fusion Warrior character, for example like this, or you use only one of them and that one character is gonna go to the leader slot and have a Fusion Warrior team. If you use both together, you need a future bench, because this guy needs a future character for his ultra abilities. Now let's look out for the equipment. we start with the Ultra, and this guy has a really good unique equipment you can farm, which is the Future Purple equipment, and it's gonna give him base HP, special move, ultimate damage, and base strike attack. The second equipment I would advise is gonna be the gold PvP equipment, the Rose one, that is gonna give him HP restore, more special move and ultimate damage, some pure strike attack, and some HP, which is really good offensively. The third equipment, I would really advise you to go defensive. If you are using him with the other Zamasu, this is the best bet you can get. And this one is going to give him double pure defenses, double base defenses, and up to 12% HP if you get lucky. If you do not have the other Zamasu with you, you can just go with the unique equipment for the future Trunk Saga. This one is still pretty decent, double base defenses, some HP and some HP restore. If you want more offense but you want some defensive capability, what you can do is go with this for the equipment that gives you HP restore, and some pure offenses. If you want something that gives you a lot of base, you can go with the Awaken weapon wielder equipment and future, which is still really strong and is still gonna give you HP restore, base track attack, and base HP. Last equipment you can use is probably this one, which is the Fusion Warrior Saga from the movie Otherworld Warrior equipment. So you need the Fusion Super Gogeta in your team if you're using this equipment. This one is still gonna give you a lot of defense with double base and 10% HP, and still give you some pure offenses. But of course, you need a Super Gogeta in your team, the Fusion one. Now, this equipment you cannot use sadly because you need Majin Buu saga character, but it will have been great. And this equipment you need 3 regen, so you cannot use it. That's all for the Ultra Merzamasu on Fusion. Now let's move on to the red one. This character has a unique equipment, so you must use it, which is this one, and this is really strong on him. Make sure you have a high damage guard, of course, on the first slot. Second equipment is going to be similar, so we're going to use the Rose Gold equipment that's going to give him pure strike attack, ultimate damage, special move, and base strike attack. Third equipment, same dilemma. I would say this guy is more defensively capable, so you can go with a third offensive equipment, or you can go more balanced. For example, you can go with this gold equipment, still gives you HP restore, and still give you some good offense. If he is lower star, you can go with the weapon wielder equipment that gives you base offense, HP restore, and special move. If you want to go full defenses, what you can do is just go with this one. If you have the other Zamasu with you, or you can go with the equipment from the collection event for future Trunk Saga, and you should be fine. For me, what I usually do is run him on regen, so I use the regen equipment. But if I was going to run him on the Fusion Warrior team, I probably use this gold equipment, or I use this if I have the Fusion Super Gogeta in my team. I forgot one last thing. If you want a base equipment and you don't want to use the Awaken weapon wielder equipment because you want some ultimate damage, you can go with the red future equipment, which is pretty decent. You're gonna lose 2% base strike attack and 2% HP. You're also gonna lose the HP restore from the weapon wielder Awaken equipment, but you're gonna gain double base defenses, 12.5% each, and you're gonna gain ultimate damage, which is decent on the Zamasu with his ult that does a lot. So it's up to you. You can farm this or the weapon wielder one if you want base offense equipment for your Zamasu as your third option. This is all for today's video. If you have any question, let me know in the comment. Have a good one and goodbye.